Today, let's dive into the world of ancient India. Imagine this. A young student walks for months, crossing mountains, deserts and rivers just to reach a place of learning. He finally arrives at a grand, majestic university, Nalanda. Thousands of students are sitting, teachers are debating, and the libraries are filled with knowledge all across the world. This is not just a place. It's a symbol of a civilization standing on its peak. Now, imagine the same student standing there again, but this time there is silence. The libraries are burning, the knowledge is lost, and the buildings are completely destroyed. So, the question is, how did something so powerful fall so completely? Warm greetings to each one of you. I'm Sanskriti Sharma, and today I'm here to explore this question. So let's understand what exactly happened and what we can learn from it. And what you imagined just right back is not just fiction. This was once reality. There was a time when this land attracted minds from all across the world, when knowledge was respected more than power, and when learning was a purpose, not a duty. And yet, the same civilization declined. So, how did something so powerful, so advanced, fall so completely? First, let's understand something clearly. Ancient India was not at all ordinary. It was a land of learning, creativity, and deep thinking. People didn't just follow traditions blindly. They questioned, explored, and created. Great minds like Aryabhatta questioned everything and made new discoveries in mathematics and astronomy. The universities attracted students from all across the world. In simple words, ancient India was leading at the top. So again, what exactly went wrong? Let's understand something clearly. Ancient India did not decline in a single moment. It was slow, silent, and built over the time. The first reason was internal divisions. Different kingdoms kept fighting among themselves, and instead of standing together, they competed with each other. And when your group is fighting from inside, can it really stand outside? No, right? Because when you are divided from inside, you don't even need a strong enemy to defeat you. The second reason was shift in mindset. People slowly stopped asking why and started believing without thinking. Creativity reduced, curiosity reduced, and slowly that became the biggest problem. Because the moment a society stops thinking, its growth stops completely. The third reason was invasions and destructions. When great centers like Nalanda were burnt, it was not just buildings that were destroyed. It was ideas, learning, and generations of thinking. What if all of our discoveries and researches disappear tomorrow? That is the amount of loss we are talking about. The fourth reason was over-dependence over past glory. People became proud of the things they had already achieved and stopped creating something new. Is it good to feel proud of something you have already achieved if you're not improving today? No, right? Being proud of the past is good, but living in the past is dangerous. Now, let me ask you something. All of this happened centuries ago, but does it feel completely unfamiliar today? Just think about it. We divide ourselves over small differences just like those kingdoms did. We compare ourselves constantly and focus on memorizing rather than understanding. In short, we focus on memorizing and not thinking and understanding, just like those civilizations did. And sometimes we don't even realize. So, the real question is not why did ancient India decline? The real question is, are we slowly repeating it today? And this is where the most important part comes. Ancient India did not decline in a single moment. It weakened slowly because of habits. Because habits don't seem dangerous at first. A small habit of ignoring unity, a small habit of not questioning, and a small habit of being satisfied with the past. Individually, they seem harmless, but together they create a huge difference. They create the future. So, what can we do? We can start simple. First, we can focus on understanding rather than memorizing. Because marks may help you pass an exam, but understanding helps you face real life. Second, we can start asking questions. Not just what is this, but also why is this and how does it work? Because every great discovery begins with one simple question. Third, we can choose unity over division. Because no matter how talented an individual is, a divided group always stands weak. Now, let me take you back to that student standing in front of a burning library and watching generations of thinking turn into ashes. The real loss is not the loss of building. The real loss is loss of thinking, loss of creativity, and the loss of curiosity. So, what can we do? Let me tell you. What are the lessons we get from that story? Lesson number 1, unity matters. Lesson number 2, never stop questioning. And lesson number 3, balance pride with progress. And now, before I end, let me leave you with this. Civilizations do not collapse in a single day. They weaken slowly because of habits, because of the same mistakes we often ignore. So, don't think this is just history. This is a warning, a reminder that nothing around us will change until we do. A reminder that the future is not built by what we know, it is built by what we do. And when our turn comes, will we build something stronger or just repeat the same mistakes? Because the question is not why did ancient India decline? The question is what are we going to do differently starting from today? So start asking questions, start making unity, and start rebuilding again. Now imagine that student once again. But this time, instead of watching the destruction, he does something different. He starts learning again. He starts questioning again. And he starts rebuilding again, even if it is small. Because my dear friends, great changes never begin with thousands of people at once. It begins with one single person who thinks differently. And slowly, that spreads. So maybe the question is not what went wrong then. The question is, who is going to rebuild it? And maybe the answer is we. Because the past is not just about what happened long ago. It is also about what can be rebuilt. And the biggest mistake we make today is thinking that declines only happen in history books. But my dear friends, that is why history matters. Not because it tells us what happened long ago, but also it reminds us about what can happen again. You know, the biggest threat to a civilization is not ignorance. It's the belief that it no longer needs to learn. Thank you.